flexing as he pushes up from the bed. I am licking my lips without realizing what my body is doing until he turns around, making eye contact. His eyes light up. See something you like, love. 0. My cheeks flush up at the heat in his eyes. I don't know. It is hard to tell what that body looks like when it is covered like it is right now. He sits back on the bed, pushing my hair out of my face. Trust me, you will see it without clothes very soon. He taps his finger on his cheek while looking up at the ceiling. I would say by nightfall tonight. He lunges for me, pinning me down gently to the bed. Is that a dare or a promise? Raising my eyebrow. He covers my body with his, making my entire body light up like it is on fire as his husky voice whispers in my ear, I can tell you that it is a promise. You will be mine. Before this night ends, he grinds his hips into me, drawing a small moan out of my mouth. I wish it was night already. My breath picks up while his mouth explores my jaw, down to my neck, to the pulse point. His fangs slowly drag over it, and my entire body shivers, making his lips lock down, sucking on it. His tongue licks a trail down the fast-beating pulse, and he groans a little. 0. If I don't stop, we will not make it out of this bed. To the events, he pulls back a little. I declare you the winner, by default. Problem solved, pulling him back into a heated kiss. A low rumble comes out of his chest as our kiss gets more profound, and his body starts moving on mine. He trails kisses down my chest, lifting my top with his fingers slowly as his mouth follows the path it takes. His mouth travels over to one of my breasts, while his hand finds the other. His lips lock onto my breast as his tongue swirls around my nipple, making it harder by the second. His hand cups my other, while his thumb rubs over my nipple. His mouth feels so good that a soft gasp comes out as his rumble gets louder in his chest. His free hand trails down to my shorts, pulling the band back and slipping inside. His fingers hit the target within seconds as he sucks in a breath. So wet for me, so beautiful. He looks up with solid red eyes. 0. My legs fall open as his finger dips into my center, while his thumb circles my clit slowly. He returns to my neck, kissing it as his fingers pick up their pace, having me on edge faster than I have ever been there. Before I know it, he whispers, Hold on, love. You will enjoy this. His lips lock on my neck as his hand picks up faster, pushing me over the edge and crying out when he does. I feel like my entire body is on cloud 9, floating around with all the other fluffy clouds in the sky. As my body slowly comes back down, he watches my face with a smirk. That is a promise of what is to come this evening. Come, we need to get up so breakfast is not missed. Justin pulls his hand out of my pajamas, making my body shiver as a coldness comes over it. Ew. He rolls out of bed, going to move towards the bathroom as my hand comes out grabbing his. Can I return the favor? Nodding to his manhood that is jutting out of his sweatpants. Ew. He chuckles but shakes his head. No, love. That will push me over the edge to do what I have to wait for. You do that. I will have you marked before I climax. It was hard enough not to do it a few minutes ago, pulling him back towards me. He lays back down as I prop up on my elbow. I know that has to be hard for you to wait like that. Zero. He nods. Every night it has been tough not to pin you down, marking you as mine. Your scent, along with everything that my body craves, has to be pushed back to control myself. Zero. My hand brushes over his manhood gently, making him suck in a deep breath as it jumps. I know it will help if you don't have to worry about that. My hand wraps around it, starting to pump slowly. Zero. A growl comes out of him, grabbing my hand. Don't please. I will lose control, Sky. I mean it. Zero. Pouting a little, he quickly gets up and enters the bathroom as the shower comes on. A low shriek comes out of his mouth, letting me know it must be a freezing shower he has stepped into. Crawling out of bed, I pad to the closet, pulling out pants and a shirt for the day, because we will be at the battlefield for the rest. A massive picnic will be served there from both castles for lunch, while each of them will have their tent to rest in. Justin told me that the first round would not require showers, since their minds would be against Damien's. I still have not figured out what that is about. So slipping out of the room, I head down the stairs. Damien rounds the corner as I hit the bottom step, and Chance steps behind me. Rushing up to him, "Can I have a moment, please?" Zero. He nods, holding his arm out. "Of course, if you accept, I will escort you to breakfast." Zero. Taking his arm, we start that way. I have to know what is this wit battle that will happen here shortly. We will not be able to see what is going on correct. He looks down at me, holding his palm up and snapping his fingers. An image of myself playing at a sand pile comes up. I watch as the girl fills up a castle mold, ensuring it is full and smooth before dumping it as it completes the castle I am working on. I can pull anything I want out of your mind, but you can see it. There will be a projection screen for all to see, so they will not be able to say that one was tortured more than the other. We sit at the table as Justin comes in with water sparkling off his hair. Making his way over to the table, he sits with us, digging into the plate as it arrives. We all get into cars returning to the battlefield, halfway between both places. Getting out, Thomas is standing there, waiting for all of us to arrive. He smirked as he saw me get out of the car. "Missed you last night, sweetheart." I wanted to sleep in my bed for a change. Thank you for the invitation to stay at your place, giving the slimy bastard a small smile. Damien walks around his car, nodding towards two giant wooden chairs on a platform. "Justin, would you like to go first?" Zero. Justin drops my hand, kissing my cheek gently. "Sure," he said, as he walked onto the wooden decking and sat down. "Your bracelet will come off after this event is complete. You won't use your powers to block my attacks as we go through this. Your mind will have to fight against anything I come up with." Zero. Looking up at the giant screen behind Justin, they put some device on Damien that looks like a wristband connected to the screen. They stare into each other's eyes for a short time before what looks like a dark cave comes onto the screen. Justin walks through it, holding a torch and looking around for the attack. Growls are heard from within the cave, but nothing is seen. Thomas plops beside me in the empty chair, taking my hand in his before I realize what happened, leaning over and whispering in my ear, "Let's see what he has in store for him. I am curious about this." Justin goes further down as the sounds become louder. He rounds a corner, facing a giant purple dragon, walking back and forth, looking into a cage. He looks around and closes his eyes, making a sword appear made of solid gold. He slowly creeps up on the creature, but a rock appears at the last second, making him stumble over it, where the dragon whips its head around, seeing him. It lets out a massive roar as fire comes out of its mouth. A golden shield materialized in his hands a second before the flames engulfed him. When the fire subsides, he looks over the shield, watching as the creature bears down on him, shaking the ground with each stomp it does. He crouches down low to the ground until the beast is right on top of him. He jumps up, slicing at the air towards the neck area. He misses as the dragon rounds on him, lashing his tail, hitting his chest, and sending him flying into the rocks with force so hard it snaps his neck back. All around us, you hear gasps while hands fly to mouths. His body crumples to the ground as a claw comes down towards him. His shield thrusts upwards, stopping the attack again. He jumps up quickly, taking off towards the other side of the cave, as the dragon whips around, following him. Next, we see a cage slamming down around him, with the top open as the dragon's head comes over, opening its mouth to reshoot fire. He shoves off a jutting rock that has come through the bars, souring out of the cage as it is engulfed in flames, hitting the ground with his feet. Taking off outside the cave, the dragon follows him as they circle each other in the field of trees. Teeth come flying down, trying to rip him to shreds with a crack of the jaw, but he leaps into the trees, hanging onto a branch. The creature roars out, shaking the land so hard that Justin's grip loosens. His fingers dig into the bark, and he slides down the tree, peeling it off behind him. A tail crashes into the tree, snapping it in half, after he leaps off it, landing on its back, between the creature's wings. Taking his claws, they sink into the flesh, making the dragon thrash back and forth before it takes off to the skies with a hard launch. In the air, Justin's claws rake over the creature's body, pulling blood from it repeatedly, while it does all kinds of complex circles, dips, dives, or rollovers, trying to shake Justin off his back. Finally, he levels out for a second when Justin lunges for the neck of the creature, swinging around to the front and punching his fist right into the chest of the beast, who lets out a tremendous roar before they both spiral down to the ground, making the whole place shake hard when it hits. At the same time, the dragon's body leaves an indent where it lands. Justin's hand displays the heart he pulled out. Rushing into the cave again, he goes over to the cage the dragon was protecting, as an image of a small girl comes into view. Opening the door with a hard rip, the child runs into his arms, crying, while thanking him for saving her. The image fades away while Damien smiles. Congratulations. You beat my dragon pretty well. Justin gets up, but falls back down in the chair. Don't move yet. Doing that was a strain on your mind. Give it a minute for your mind to clear. You may try to stand again when that feeling fades. Touching the gold bracelet on his arm, it falls to the ground. His face looks better, and his body recovers quickly with it gone. Shortly after that, he gets up and walks over to where we are sitting. Thomas gets up, walking over to the chair that is now vacant. Justin sits down as a cup of blood is handed to him after a taster tries it first. He takes a few sips, slowly, setting it down on the table. That was so real that I could feel the heat of the fire, the feeling of his tail hitting me, his skin under my claws. Laying my hand on his arm, a smile comes over my lips. You did an excellent job. Damien said that the possibility of losing is greater if you were under for more than 5 minutes. Your mind gets weaker the longer you go. He nods. I did feel my body going down like that. Hopefully, it was enough to where he will not be able to come out on top, with his nodding toward Thomas, who is sitting in the chair smirking. Thomas sits down with that awful smirk, looking at Damien. Give me your best shot, old man. Damien scowls at that comment. You realize what I do to you is in my hands, right? His grin spreads. Of course. From seeing what Justin went through, this will be a walk in the park. He nods in our direction. 0. Damien's smile gets big. Okay, let's see how you handle this. 0. The screen comes to life. As Thomas walks through the halls of his home, he scoffs, looking around. Is this the best you got? Going to challenge me in my own home? 0. He strides through one of the halls like any other time when he walks around his home. A hand emerges from the shadows, grabbing his shoulder and dragging him down a set of metal stairs I know very well. He tries to struggle, but the grip keeps a hard hold on him as his feet bounce down the steps. When they enter the dungeon, his eyes flick around, taking in people cowering in their cells. The first is of workers, but the further they go, an older man comes into view, along with his mother, sitting in chairs bound by silver clamps over their ankles and wrists. He spins around, getting out of the grip of his attacker, who fades into a mist as his fist flies through it. He rushes over, looking at his mother's face, lifting it slowly. Her voice is weak as she speaks. Son, you should not have come. He will kill you now. He pulls at the clamp, screaming, while they burn his hands, but they will not budge from their death grip. A gloved hand materializes, flicking its wrist and slamming him into the wall as chains descend from the ceiling, binding him. The hand floats around the room, not attached to a body, picking up a silver stick as it halts behind the man. Thomas slams his body against the wall, trying to get out, but the chains remain firm. The stick comes down on the man, making him scream in pain as it repeatedly hits his bare shoulders. Who is that man? Whispering to Justin. 0. His father, as his eyes stay glued to the screen. 0. Thomas continues to struggle against them as the stick comes around to the front, hitting his bare chest repeatedly, until the man falls limp in the chair, pleading hoarsely to stop. The hand does not stop beating him until the man vanishes out of the chair with a scream when the stick impales his chest right through his heart. It moves over to his mother as he screams, "Don't you dare touch her, Zero!" The hand jabs her through her clothes, making her scream. With one hard yank, the chains give as Thomas crashes down to the ground. Getting up, he yanks open the clamps, slinging the chain is at the wall before rushing to her. A silver gate slams between them, stopping him in his tracks again. The silver stick hits her arm, staying there, making a blood-curdling scream come out of her mouth. He yells for her, "Mother, I will get you out of here. I promise." Zero. He looks around the room, finding another glove that has appeared beside him. He grabs it, slides it on his hand, lays it on the gate lock, and pulls at it with all his might. The stick has severed one of his mother's arms, landing on the other one, doing the same again. Once that arm is off, it goes to her legs, slowly burning through them. He finally gets the gate open, runs up, and grabs the hand, jerking it away from her. But this time, a person is attached to the hand, coming out of the shadows. He looks at his reflection, staring back at him with lifeless eyes, laughing as he rips his hand away, jabbing her through the stomach. He swings at his double, but it goes into a mist before materializing right behind him, wrapping one hand around his throat, while the other shoves the silver stick through his chest before he can move. He looks over at her. "I am sorry, Mother. I tried," before he bursts into a massive pile of dust that falls to the floor as his double takes the stick, swinging it at her head and cutting it off. The vision fades out as he comes out shaking hard. "Sorry, Thomas. You did not beat the test. You lose this round." Damien reaches over, taking the wristband off him as he stands from the chair, dropping his bracelet. "Zero, that was not fair." Thomas spits out, "You fought him as a dragon, but you use my parents against me, Zero." Damien looks over at him where he is slumped down in the chair. "You told me to bring it, so I did. What you did to your father was revealed, but as you watched, you were not doing it as yourself. You never called out to him, wanting me to stop, but when it was your mother, you were desperate to get out saving her. So I hated my father. He was weak, treating people as if they were not enslaved. These people need us to survive, not the other way around." He slowly gets up. "What you do in your kingdom is up to you. But these enslaved people, as you call them, do everything for you. They prepare your meals, clean your rooms, and keep what your life is like running the way it is right now. Go rest in your tent, coming back here at 2 for the final battle of the afternoon." He cocks an eyebrow at him. "Looks like you need the rest." Thomas stumbles off the stage as some people help him down to his tent, closing the flaps. Damien walks up to us, nodding toward ours. "Come, we have to talk, Zero." We get up and follow him to the tent, which has the flaps closed. Chance and another guard are standing outside. Justin sits down on the cot while I grab a chair. Damien rubs his temples slowly, sitting down in his chair. "I think we need a change of strategy, Justin. You have been holding back too long. I don't want to take it to a tiebreaker. That last event shook him up badly to take him out with the next fight. You refuse to let me call him out for his cheating. Justin sits up straight, holding my hand in his. When I win, it needs to be because it was done fair and square. As we discussed, I don't want to take his life unless he loses to me. Damien did say that if he did cheat, it would make him forfeit his win, looking into his tired eyes. He takes a long breath. I know, but this is the way I was raised. To win honestly, not have his life handed to me, making it a shortcut. Damien looks at him nodding. Fine. Get some rest along with a good meal. We will battle in a few hours, but you must take him out now. He has now weakened since I showed him how to watch a death done at his own hands. He will first go into this full force, but will go downhill after the first 15 minutes. Zero. Flicking my eyes back and forth between them. Is there something I need to know about all of this? Did you plant something that will cause his downfall? Zero. Damien chuckles as he stands. I will never tell you all my secrets, honey. That is for me to know and you to see in the next battle. He walks out as Justin lays down, patting the area beside him. So, come take a nap with me until the food comes. His eyes grow heavy with sleep. Zero. Laying beside him, he curls around my body, drifting off quickly as my eyes scan the tent. Seeing the basket of food I brought for us, making sure no one touched it except myself. My eyes closed, slowly drifting off with him. Sometime later, he shifts, waking me up, slowly getting off the cot, trying not to disturb him. My hands grab the basket as Chance comes in with a plate full of food. Did the taster try those? Asking in a whisper voice. Zero. No, he has vanished. We can't find him anywhere. His eyes land on the biscuit. I see you were not going to take any chances this time. Shaking my head, no. Thomas has done too much up until now. I prepared this food without anyone knowing to ensure it was not drugged. He lays the tray down on the grass against the side of the tent, putting the top on it. You think of so many things that some of us may let slide as he sits down at the table with me, pulling out plates, glasses, napkins, and food. His grin grows. I have been honored to be assigned to a woman like yourself. The future will be bright with you as queen. Nodding my head, I hope so. Justin stirs, sitting up quickly, but relaxes when his eyes land on me at the table. He gets off the cot, walks, and sits at the table. This looks so good. What is that tray on the ground, Earl? Your taster has gone missing. That was the food brought by the workers. I don't trust Thomas, so I packed our food, pulling out fried chicken, corn on the cob, mashed potatoes, and rolls. Zero. Grabbing a bottle of blood, handing it to him, he asks, "Where did you get all of this food?" Zero. Smiling while my hands pull out the last of the food I cooked it myself this morning after breakfast. What did the tray have on it? Chance goes over, taking the top off. Steaks, steamed vegetables, along with wine and rolls. This blood is hot. He holds up the bottle. Zero. Justin makes a face. They must have pulled it from a fresh source. Make sure it is disposed of before they come back to collect it. Make it look like we ate the food. Oh, Chance puts it back down, walks over to the plate I made for him, and hands him a bottle, making him smile. You are a very organized woman. Justin, I envy you with that part. Hopefully, I can find someone like that in the future. Looking up at him, my eyes twinkle. You know, Dawn is really into you. So he laughs. Yeah, I have noticed that, but that girl is a little wild for my taste. After all this, I may take her out, trying to give her a chance. 0. We sit there talking until we leave for the last battle. Chance slips out with the tray, taking off to dispose of the food when the coast is clear. Walking onto the battlefield, the box is set up again, on the edge of a substantial, roped-off area, about an acre broad. Taking my seat, Damien strides onto the platform, holding his hands up. This will be the final battle of the afternoon. If Justin wins, he will be the victor of royal combat. If Thomas wins, we will go to a tiebreaker or sudden death. Both men must remain inside the roped-off area throughout this battle. If you step out, your win will be automatically forfeited. Both have been made aware of the rules of what can happen with this battle. So when you are ready, let the final battle begin. 0. He sits down while Thomas takes off towards the other side, climbing a tree quickly. Justin spins around, sending off a colossal lightning bolt that slices the bark off the tree as Thomas leaves the ground. He responds with a massive fireball that hits Justin in the chest before he can move, burning a hole in his shirt. He strips the fabric off, balling it around his fist and slinging it at Thomas as it transforms into a massive bird made of flames. It swoops down, screeching, letting flames out of his mouth towards him. Thomas jumps off the branch as it bursts into flames, firing water balls at the bird, drenching it, while the creature turns around, trying to escape them. It disappears as he lands on the ground, looking at Justin. You want to play that way, huh? His voice has gone deep with a tremendous growl. Next, we see a giant white tiger standing there, baring its teeth before he leaps, slicing the air with huge claws. Justin takes off, sliding under the animal, with his claws digging into its belly as it roars angrily. Falling to the ground, it quickly gets back up as the flesh weaves back together. The next thing we know, he has switched to a black mist that radiates with electricity sparking off him. Justin sees this shifting to a blinding white light, and I have to cover my eyes since it looks like a lightning strike hitting the ground. When they return to focus, after the light fades, both men stand in human form as Thomas looks around, snarling. Justin smirks at him, slamming his hands down into the ground, making it rumble as the roots of trees explode out of the earth, whipping around like an octopus with 40 legs. Thomas leaps onto a huge boulder that has started coming out of the ground as it goes up high into the air. He stretches his arms out, making black clouds appear, swinging his arms down, making them surround Justin and grabbing his body. Before it turns into a giant snake, it starts to squeeze him as it coils more of its body, holding him tightly. He struggles a little before closing his eyes, turning into a tiny bunny that springs from the tight grip. The snake strikes out, trying to put the tiny creature in its mouth, but it zips into some tall grass. When the snake follows one of the biggest bears I have ever seen, emerges from the grass, clamping down right behind its head before it starts shaking it back and forth, whipping it from side to side until the head comes off. It looks up at the rock where Thomas still stands, letting out a huge roar, where the wind comes out of his mouth with such force it topples him off the rock, while the beast's claw swipes the base, busting it into a massive pile of rubble. How can they do all this shape-shifting looking at Damien? Zero. His eyes sparkle with excitement. It depends on how much power you possess. Justin is far more powerful, so he can take on more forms that are much more destructive. Why do you think Thomas is staying away from him, using his powers to create things to attack with, instead of it being him? My eyes go back to the fight, seeing the bear gone now, but a massive hawk is up in the air, circling the roped-off area, before swooping down with its claws extended, grabbing Thomas by the shoulders before returning to the skies. It does a few tight circles around the area before swooping down and slinging him into a tree hard. A branch comes down, wrapping itself around him and holding his body tightly against the trunk. The hawk lands as a shimmering light changes into a walking, electric white light. It walks up to him as he struggles against the branch. "Give up, Thomas. This will worsen for you if we go on." Thomas frees one hand and shoots a blinding light at Justin, making him stumble backward. Laying his hand on the tree, Thomas sends electrical currents through it, and the tree goes up in a puff of smoke, disappearing into a small pile of charred bark. Zero. I will not give up until you are dead at my feet. Your kingdom is under my control, and Sky is mine. He rushes towards Justin, nailing him in the stomach and sending him flying towards the rope. Zero. He is trying to shove him out of bounds, covering my mouth, looking at him skidding, stopping short of his foot, going under the barrier. Zero. Damien narrows his eyes at Thomas as he rushes him again. If he does, where Justin can't recover, we can do nothing. I did not lay the law, saying they could not throw the other outside the barrier. Zero. Justin takes off towards Thomas as they slam into each other, with arms fighting to get a hold of the other. Like the sword fight, their moves are a blur, and my human eye can't keep up with what is happening. They flip around each other and jump over the attacks as Justin finally gets a hand on his neck, slamming him down into the ground, making a substantial sunk-in place. When they go at it again, after Thomas takes his feet to Justin's chest, shoving him off it, reminds me of the fight scene in Twilight, where Edward is taking on the executioner in front of the Volturi. How they blur out, not seeing what is going on, until one is down on the ground. Thomas grabs Justin around the waist, hoisting him up so fast, throwing him towards the rope again. Justin changes into a small blackbird, swooping back around quickly before crossing it. He transforms into a massive ball of light, and it comes back down quickly, slamming into Thomas and sending him flying into the ground. Thomas gets up with an enormous roar, and his eyes go solid red. He shifts into a giant black dragon, sending a blast of cold breath. Damien, is he trying to freeze him? Shaking his arm hard. Damien stands up, but Justin shakes his head at him, dodging the next blast that barely misses his foot. That man will get himself killed if he lets Thomas break the rules like this. Justin jumps up on the back of the dragon like he did in the wits game, shoving his claws into each side under his wings. Dragging his claws up, he grabs the wings, ripping them off and throwing them on the ground. Thomas bellows, shifting back to his human form and curling up on the ground. 2 huge holes are in his back, and his sides are slick with blood. Justin stands there, blood dripping down his hands onto Thomas as he puts a foot on his neck, pushing down hard. That is it, Thomas. You have cheated the last time in this game. No matter what form you took, you were prohibited from using your freezing capabilities. I have let all your cheating slide by, but now I am calling for your head with that last stunt. You broke the rules repeatedly, trying to gain wins, but this time you lost. Any last words? He looks down at the man who is bleeding out faster than he can heal. 0. He spits blood on the ground. I don't regret anything. He grabs Justin's foot, sending a blast of ice up his entire body before he can move. He staggers up, looking at me with a huge grin. Any last words to your lover, sweetheart? You are about to become mine for all eternity. He raises his hand as a fireball forms in it. 0. No, jumping up in my seat, rushing out to the field quickly. Damien has gotten out of his seat, holding his hand up towards Thomas as a bright light circles inside his palm. Thomas turns to look at me, running towards him, before his eyes flick over to Damien for a split second while the ice explodes, sending shards everywhere, making me hit the ground as they fly past me. Justin grabs Thomas by the neck, looking into his eyes. I think death is too good for you. Maybe being locked in a cell with Taylor might be better for you until I completely decide what needs to happen with you. 0. He grabs Justin's hands, freezing them, getting out of his grasp, fades over, and grabs me by the waist, yanking me up off the ground. If you don't want me to snap your mate's neck, you will yield to me. Before we can move or comprehend what is happening, a massive gray wolf comes flying towards us, knocking Thomas out of the way as it locks his jaw down on his arm, slinging him away from me. Thomas gets up, charging the wolf as he draws a silver blade out with a wooden handle. The wolf lunges at him, but Thomas twists around, driving the knife into his side. He lets out a howl, falling to the ground, and shifting back to Noah, grabbing his side. I rush over to him as Justin grabs Thomas, who had been distracted enough to stand still for a second, ripping his head off so fast that all I see is his head rolling across the field as his body falls to the ground, bursting into dust. Oh, running up to Noah, he is shaking hard. Noah, oh my God, why did you do that? He gives me a weak smile. You have always been in my heart, Sky. I made a mistake that day, but after searching my relationship with Jasmine, I knew everything I said to her was wrong. She is my true mate. Please tell her to raise our son, knowing he is the alpha of our pack. 0. No, no, no. You are not going to die on us. I will not allow it. Taking my hand, covering his wound. Still, it can't be reversed, Sky. The silver is flowing through my body and will soon hit my heart. Please take care of them. Make sure they are looked after for me, he coughs. 0. Taking him in my arms, I cuddle him close to my body as tears flow down my face, falling onto him as his eyes close slowly. Holding my hand over his wound as his life slowly slips away, I feel a vibration flow through my body. Looking up at Damien, who has walked over to where we are, he looks down at me with a grin. Bending down on his knees, his eyes travel over Noah's body before looking back into mine. Would you like for me to guide you through this? We can reverse the silver, flowing through his body where it will not kill him. He holds his hand up, hovering over his chest. 0. He saved my life. I want to do the same for him. He has seen the light and is happy. His mate will give him a pup. He needs to be here to raise his son. With her feeling the power in me getting more vigorous. Damien nods, sits beside me, and holds my hand. Put your other hand on his chest. I follow those instructions as he speaks again. Now, follow the silver in his veins, finding where it ends. We can't leave a trace of it in his body because even a sliver can kill him. I do that, following the silver that is stopped right before it reaches his heart. Now, put up walls on each of those veins, like a dam, where we will use those walls to push the silver out of him. 0. I close my eyes and see walls come up, blocking the silver, before I push them slowly back toward the wound. My hand, which is still covering the wound, starts getting covered in silver as it leaks onto the ground. My mind sees each wall slowly moving as more silver comes out until none is left. Keeping my eyes closed, I searched his entire body for any trace left anywhere, but couldn't see any. Furrowing my brows, my hands heat up as they seal the wound, pulling all the silver away from his body and melting onto the ground. 0. Opening my eyes, Damien has a massive smile on his face. You did it. That was all you. I only walked you through it before stopping the silver from hitting his heart. You are very powerful, but we must train you properly. Justin is standing there looking at me, with his jaw dropped. How did you tap into that power so quickly? 0. Damien stands up, brushing his clothes off. I unlocked her power when she helped me escape from his castle. I needed her power to take the bracelet off. She was the only one who could find the latch, taking it off, releasing me from its bond. Noah coughs again, taking a deep breath as a blanket wraps around his body. He looks up at me with a perplexed expression. How am I alive? I felt the silver flowing through my body, but it stopped. Smiling down at him, I stopped it from reaching your heart. Your son will not grow up without his father. He will need you to guide him properly, to be the next ruler working alongside our children in the future. He moves, but falls back down to the ground as Damien lays a hand on him. Keep still for a few more minutes. Your body is still recovering. Glad to have you back, son. Yeah. He looks around the grounds as Jasmine comes running over to him, wrapping her arms around his body and pulling him to her. I was so scared that we had lost you. Thank you so much, Sky, for saving him. Standing up, I walked over to Justin, wrapping my arms around his waist. It was my pleasure, Jasmine. Your son needs a father, so saving him after he tried to protect me from Thomas was not a big decision. She beams at me. So does this mean that we can be friends? Laughing, I nod. Yes, it would be my honor. I hope your stay with us was good, so both of you had time to reflect on what you needed. Was your relationship healed? 0. She leaned down and kissed his forehead briefly, and her eyes returned to looking up at me. It did. After he came bursting through the doors, he told me about the meeting and everything he did. We sat in the room you gave me for hours, talking to where our relationship was rekindled as it needed to be. So Justin leans down, whispering in my ear, "Are you ready for a huge party, love? We must celebrate both of these kingdoms, being united under one rule." I lay my hand on his chest. We need to return to his castle. Some things need to be handled immediately. 0. He nods, looking over at Damien, who raises an eyebrow. I will accompany you to let everyone know there is a new leadership they are under now, since their old king no longer lives. 0. The three of us jump in a car, while Chance and the others follow us. Walking into the palace, I head straight for the staircase to the dungeon. Damien walks up to Alan, shoving his hand out when we get down there. Keys, he demands. "You." Alan backs up, shaking his head. "You are not my king. I do not take your orders." Stepping forward, I look him in the eyes. Your king is dead. With his loss in combat, all of this now belongs to Prince Justin and myself. Free the prisoners so they may return to their quarters for rest baths, along with much-needed nourishment. As for you, we can find another job that will never require another person to be punished, pointing my finger at his chest. 0. He looks at all three of us, slowly, flicking his eyes over each of us. Seeing how we have guards behind us, he pulls them out, unlocking the cells as their attendants scramble back up the stairs, away from him as quickly as they can. You will burn all of this now. It will be a sign to every worker here that there will never be punishment again in this kingdom, looking at him straight in the eye. He bows. Of course, Your Highness. 0. Before you do that, come upstairs for an announcement. After that, you can clean this filthy place out. Also, take that God-forsaken mask off, turning to make my way back up the steps. After sending several workers throughout the palace and gathering everyone in the throne room, we walked up to the raised platform and turned around to greet everyone. My fellow subjects, Thomas lost the battle today, forfeiting his kingdom to Prince Justin and Princess Sky. With this new leadership, you will not be punished again, nor forced to be enslaved under their rule. Damien claps his hands behind his back. 0. Stepping up beside him, I look over the floor as their eyes slowly come back to life. My parents, who used to share the throne with the late rulers, will be returning to take their position over, until we have a second son who will be groomed to take over. Everyone here will be treated fairly, on the same schedule as our workers in Justin's kingdom and in the housing where you may live. The dungeon has been shut down to be cleaned out, plus it will also be cleaned up. That place has no reason to smell the way it does when it will not be used. Take your time cleaning it up properly, taking shifts to do so. I am letting everyone here have a party tonight to celebrate this new beginning in your and our lives. Your new king and queen will be here shortly to ensure that this place is run properly and with a kind hand. The entire room erupts into huge, thunderous applause as everyone chants, "Hail the new king and queen," while they slowly exit. Some remain in the area, asking questions about the new rules and positions. We tell them that my parents will put all of this in place once they come, but have to report any changes that may need to be handled. After the last workers have left, Justin offers me his arm as my parents walk in, looking around where they have been absent for so many years. We have our party to get to love. The ending of royal combat is a cause for both kingdoms to celebrate this great victory, kissing my temple. The three of us give my parents a quick rundown of what we said before exiting to head home. After a long night of dancing, food, and fireworks, my feet hurt terribly to where I was ready to retire. Justin has swooped me up in his arms, carrying my tired body up the steps as a yawn escapes my lips. My head is snuggled into his chest, and his breathing is steady as he zips up to my room. Instead, he stops at his, shoving the door open, and walks in with me, laying my body down on his very soft bed. May I ask why we are in here and not my room, propping up on my elbow, watching him move around the room? So he lays out a bowl of water with a rag and some towels. Are we not going to finish what you wanted to this morning, or ask me to do? A few days ago, I promised you it would be this evening, did I not? Oh, I giggle at the statement. Baby, it is 3 in the morning. I think the day was lost at 12:00. He stops looking at me with a smirk. Well, if you are not interested in spending the night with me as my newly turned mate, I will put all of this up for another time, he said, his fingers grabbing the towels and laying them over his arm. I fly off the bed, grabbing his arm as his eyes look over at me. I was kidding. You have fought for my hand in the kingdom that should have been mine for 3 days. He stops putting the towels back down. It was always yours, love. Just because some jerk would not honor that agreement your ancestors wrote so many years ago does not mean it never belonged to you. I could have ended this with 3 events, but he would have claimed I cheated, winning all 3 in a row. Letting out a puff of breath, he lays his hand on mine. I am glad that you are that noble, where you care about honor while setting people up in a devious way. He nods, laying the items back down. To be a good ruler, that is what you have to abide by. As you saw how he did things, was not the best way to handle a rule. His people were terrified of him, not wanting to displease, making his wrath come down on them with any action they did. Sliding my arms around his waist, slowly moving them up his sides, earning a low rumble out of his chest. Your parents did well raising such an honorable man. That is the one thing that I truly love about you. He cocks his head, raising an eyebrow at me. That is the only thing that you love about me. Laughing at his statement, my fingernails dig into his shirt as they slide down his back, making his breath pick up while he still rumbles. Are you trying to distract me? Love, 0. Pushing my body into his as he wraps his arms around my waist, no. Only wanting to show you how much I love you, 0. He picks me up, lying my back on his very soft bed, while his mouth descends on me. His hands travel up my shirt as his kisses become more frantic, full of passion and desire. He leans over to my ear. Are you ready to become mine tonight for all eternity? Taking my mouth, trailing kisses down his throat and to his neck, a shiver flies through his body. I think you know the answer to that question. 0. He pulls back. I need you to say it, not to show me. You have to choose to do this, so words are required. 0. Pulling his head back down, my tongue flicks out, grazing his ear. I am ready to become yours for the rest of our lives. 0. With that, his hands rip my top in half, slinging it to the ground. Our clothes are off so fast that the chill in the air makes my body cover in goosebumps. His hands travel my body slowly, leaving a fire trail in their wake. Oh, hot hisses out of my mouth. He nibbles on my ear. Yes, love, you are about to get very hot. When I bite you, it will feel like you want to rip your skin off as my venom rushes through your body. As you change, I will be right here the entire time. Listen to my voice where it might keep you calm. We have the rest of our lives for foreplay, but we will make love to each other before you are changed, becoming my eternal mate. 0. Reaching my hand down, grabbing his manhood that is hard as a rock, jutting up towards me, while being so big that porn videos have nothing on him. He sucks in a breath. Enough talking, baby. You have been waiting for this moment like I have. Take it. 0. He growls lowly in his chest as he lines up, kissing me hard. Relax your body for me. It was made to take all of me. Slowly, he pushes the head in as my hand digs into his back with the size that is stretching me wide open. Looking down at me, he pauses for a short time before pushing in a little more slowly, taking his time until he is bottomed out deep in me. His whole body shakes as he pauses for a second before he pulls out to the tip, slowly pushing back in and letting out a long breath. I don't know how long this will last, love. You are so tight, plus with this excitement of finally having my mate. For the first time, I may not be able to last long. His body trembles. Laying a hand on his cheek, my eyes sparkle in the dim light. We have the rest of our lives to take our time. Justin, we both have wanted this for days. You knew it would be hard to contain yourself the first time. Do what you need to, because we may not get out of this bed for a day or two when I wake up. He chuckles as he shoves back in hard, picking up the pace slowly, trying to drag it out for as long as possible. My body arches as he spears me repeatedly, hitting my G-spot, making it harder not to explode around him. He must feel my body getting tighter as he lays down, kissing me deeply. He slams me hard as the pace picks up, while my fingers dig into his back. My body can no longer hang on as a muffled moan comes out of my mouth, while my body shatters around him with one of the biggest orgasms it has ever had in my life. Fuck. He pulls back, closing his eyes tightly. I can see that he is still fighting not to finish yet, but my hands roam his body, which is now pushed above me as my fingers dip in and out of each ripple of his chest, arms, and shoulders. His eyes snap open, showing how they slowly turn solid red at this time where I know he is about to lose control completely. He groans as he picks up the pace again until I feel his hips jerk hard. He lets out a roar as his fangs come down, latching onto my neck, pulling with each thrust he does, until I feel him explode inside me with such a force that it feels like it will shoot up into places that it does not belong. He feeds as his orgasm rolls on for what seems like forever. After what feels like forever, he finally releases my neck as his fangs go to the other side, biting that side of my neck quickly before falling onto the bed beside me, panting hard, pulling me to his chest and holding me tightly. My body heats up and my hands start ripping at my skin, but he grabs a hold of my wrist, pulling them tightly against my chest. Easy, baby, breathe. Take long, deep breaths. I know your entire body thinks it is on fire. Think of the waterfall we were at. How cool the water was touching your skin that day as we swam around in it, raining kisses all over my back. I want to scream, so it rips out of my mouth like I am being murdered. Justin grabs the covers, pulling them up, knowing that a guard will come bursting through the door at my voice, which Chance does. He looks over at him. She is fine, Chance. Tell everyone not to answer her screams. I forgot to let you know about her changing today. He blushes and turns to hustle out the door, quickly shutting it behind him as my body shakes hard, but his grip keeps me against his chest. His legs have pinned mine down where I can't move, except for the screams that come out of my mouth as my body burns like it is being dipped in hot lava. His calm voice behind me never gives up whispering in my ear about how to try and control the heat ripping through my body. Unfortunately, it does not work as my body heats up to where it feels like the skin is melting off my bones. I don't know how long it lasts, but it finally calms down as my eyes get very heavy. My body slowly stops shaking when he lets go a little. Sleep, love. You need it. See you when this perfect body wakes up in a few hours. His mouth leaves butterfly kisses all over my face. I try speaking, but darkness takes over me, blocking everything. In my dreams, the heat is relentless as it engulfs my body. After what seems like days, the pain slowly starts to recede as my body finally walks into that cold Ponton stream that is right in front of me. I have been trying to make it to the water to cool the burning sensation, but was rooted in place. As the cool water laps at my skin, a long sigh comes out of my mouth, and my body laps up the relaxation it brings. The sun is peeking through the drawn, dark curtains to shield the light from hitting me in the face. My eyes open to having the covers pulled around me, like a cocoon, wrapping my body tightly. My eyes travel around the room, seeing the empty spot next to me, but they land on him, sitting at a table, eating food. My body slowly stirs, making him zip to the side of the bed, pushing my hair back out of my face. 0. Afternoon. Beautiful, feeling better. His eyes look at mine, that is peeking from under the covers. 0. My stomach growls loudly, while my hands slowly push my body up. What time is it? Around 3 in the afternoon, roughly. You were out for 2 whole days, baby. I was starting to worry, but Damien told me it takes longer to change completely, with you having his bloodline. He laughed, saying royal backgrounds can be the worst when it comes to changing a human over to our kind. He kissed my cheek gently. I smell the food he has. Is there enough for me? As my eyes look around at all the newness they are landing on, I can see dust particles floating around the room and water droplets outside the window from a storm that rolled through. Suddenly, his smell hits me hard. Creed Aventus, as the spices flood my nose of pineapple, birch, and ambergris surround me as I take a huge breath. 0. What is wrong, love? It looks like you are about to jump me, looking at me with a smirk. Oh, you know damn well what is going on with me. Your scent hit me hard, letting me know what it is, crossing my arms over my chest. 0. He chuckles. Now you know what it was like for me when yours first filled my nose all those months ago. My knees went weak, and I about collapsed onto the floor. Give it an hour or so. It will get better where you can control it. Licking my lips slowly, my tongue runs over a pointed edge as it drags down from top to bottom. That pain was unbearable when it was running through my veins. I tried to imagine what you told me, but it burned so bad. He nods. I know. It was hard to hold you down like that when you hurt so badly. I wanted to take it away, but there was no way to do that. I tried wiping you down with the rags and cold water, but you were sweating so badly that we had to let it run its course. Come, you need food along with blood, so you don't try to attack a worker by mistake. He takes my hand in his, slowly helping me out of bed, before walking to the table and opening the top of a tray with all kinds of fruits and meat that looks like pulled pork. He sets a glass down at my spot. Don't gulp this down. You will want to, but sip on it. That way, it will fulfill your thirst the way it needs to. Take a sip, turning to some bites of food, before returning to another sip. Rotate until you can control your urges to engulf your food. Picking up a fork, it bends in my grip. Crap that was not supposed to happen. He smiles, taking it out of my grip. You're 10 times stronger now. Don't use so much force when you grip things like you did when you were human. Take your time, getting your boundaries until you can handle it, he says, handing me another and showing me how to hold it gently. After a short time, with about half a dozen bent utensils, my hands connect with my brain on how much pressure to use when picking them up. My baby smiles as he pops a grape in his mouth, while I take the first bite of food my stomach has been begging for over the last hour. He picks the cup up, handing it to me, since 3 others lay on the floor, crushed with blood, splattered around where each one landed. I tried to clean it up, but he ripped the towel out of my hand, telling me the workers would get it. Taking the cup gently, I bring it to my lips, take a sip, and close my eyes, savoring the taste as it splashes across my tongue, going down my throat. When they open back up, he is staring at me. What? Cocking my head to the side. Oh, a smile stretches across his face. This will be very interesting to see your development as you learn to do everything. Being born this way, all you are going through, is not new to me. How does your sight compare to when you were human? 0. My eyes flick around the room, seeing lingering steam coming out of the bathroom. From a shower, the smell of shampoo and his soap hitting my nose, and the fluffy towel with prickled edges from being used before being washed to be used again. It is different for sure. Everything is brighter, the colors are bold, and seeing older things like the steam from your shower still lingers in the bathroom. 0. He looks over there before sighing. I did that over an hour ago. Your perception of things is excellent. When I was not here, Chance, Damien, Dawn, and Summer were sitting at your side, ensuring that you were not alone when you woke up. We did not want you to freak out taking off through the halls, from being confused about everything, possibly attacking a human, to quench your thirst. Picking up a grape, squishing it a little too hard, making it explode all over him as a laugh shakes his body. My eyes widen. Oh, I am so sorry. Throwing my hands up to my mouth. 0. He shakes his head as he wipes it off. No need to apologize. I told you it would take time to get everything down. Here he picks one up and holds it to my lips. I take it out of his fingers, running my tongue over the tip, getting the juice off. He looks at me as his eyes turn heated. Don't do that, love. You are not quite ready for that step yet. By tonight, yes, but if I bed you right now, your body is not quite ready to be ravished by a vampire. It will be different now that your body is not human. When I mark you in this form, you will be completely mine. Making love when you were a human was one thing. Doing it as a vampire is a new level. 0. Picking up a piece of pineapple and gently popping it in my mouth, I said, I was wondering why I could not feel your emotions yet. I thought when you changed me, it would happen. That was to get you to this stage. The other will come shortly after you get your bearings to control yourself. I can't have you latching down on my neck, sucking too much blood out of me. It would help if you made sure that part of you is fully content before we try that step, wagging his finger in my face in a playful way. Huffing out a breath. Fine. I feel like my body could jump yours right now, having my way until you screamed out in a pleasurable moan. 0. His eyes turn red for a second before he reels it back in, letting out a shaky breath. Yeah, this will be a long afternoon for both of us. So he helps me finish eating, ensuring my thirst is satisfied before helping my food-covered body into the shower for the afternoon. He brings me clothes to change into and washing products that don't smell like a male. Once I finish with that step, we both walk out of his room, going down the steps so I can get some fresh air.